I know this is going to offend the liberal elites. Every time I say it, it offends them. But let me say it one more time. America is not a racist country. But if you are looking for racism today, you'd find it in cities run by Democrats. Look on the south side of Chicago. Poor black kids trapped in failing schools, thousands shot every single year, including one of my former interns, Daquan. But there's good news. It's conservative values that restores hope. It's Republican policies that lifts people up. I partnered with the greatest president of my generation, President Donald J. Trump. On the biggest tax cuts ever for working people and single moms, and opportunity zones for neighborhoods that need them most. But Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they give illegal immigrants free hotel rooms while our veterans sleep on the streets. Disgusting.
All right, before we go off subject, so in his mind, he says America is not racist. Now, I agree and I disagree. Now, we all know that America used to have like redlining and things like that. And we also know that America has racist people. You know, there are certain populations of people that are racist. Now, the reason why I agree with him is because there has been a shift, right? And you have white people and black people. And I said this in a previous video, that white people and black people are on a sinking ship fighting each other. And they aren't going to know exactly what's going on or what hit them until they're both at the bottom of the ocean, looking up and seeing other nationalities flourishing and thriving. Because what has happened is the shift, you've had a shift from racism to classism. You know, you either have money or you don't here in America. Things have changed, right? If you look at what's going on, you know, you have people that will come from other countries, like, for example, South America. They'll come over here and within 3 to 5 years, they're millionaires, right? That's because of economic policy and economic opportunity. But a lot of people are stuck on, you know, the past, right? Like, okay, there was redlining in the past, and they'll say, hey, you know, that redlining or because of these racist policies that America once had set black people back 50 years, right? Which there could be an argument for that, right? But what's the excuse of somebody coming over here from South America or from somewhere in on the continent of Africa and coming over here with nothing? But in 3 to 5 years, they're millionaires. In 5 to 10 years, they're multimillionaires. We see this everywhere, right? They come over here, they learn the credit system, they start businesses, and they live a better economic life than both black people and white people. Because if you look at the income table, which I've shown on this channel before, black people at the bottom, obviously, but the white income is starting to come down. Meanwhile, Asians at the top, you know, Arabs at the top, right? They have, you know, people from the Spanish speaking countries are starting to go up, right? Because of, it's no longer racism in America as far as the policy, the overall policy. It is now classism. You have the money or you don't, you know, and it's like that in the real estate market, right? You want to buy real estate, you know, you either have the money or you don't. And in that money section, we're talking about credit. We're talking about money to put down the cash, the actual income, or you don't. If you don't, you're not buying a home. You know, the same thing with, let's just say, getting loans, right? Like you want to get a loan through a bank, you either have the income or and the credit or you don't, right? And one thing that a lot of people, especially, you know, the battle between white people and black people, when you go to, let's just say you go to the hood, right? most people in the hood don't know anything about, or most black people don't know anything about trailer parks, right? And most people that are in trailer parks, and most white people don't know anything about the other side, right? When really they're two sides of the same coin. I have an ATM business, right? My ATM businesses do the same, or the ATMs do the same. The ones that are in the hood and the ones that are in trailer parks. Essentially, you have sections of poor people, right, or lower income people, and all you have in both neighborhoods is liquor stores, drugs. You have the food source isn't as good. The water source isn't as good, and that's in both neighborhoods. It's literally the same thing, right? Now obviously there are some different factors in each. Like, okay, you may have crack cocaine over here, but then you have what they call hillbilly crack, crystal meth over here, right? Like that's really the only. It's drugs, but it's the different types of drugs in the neighborhoods that are infesting the neighborhoods. But as far as the economics, right, it's still liquor stores, it's still drugs, it's still, most of these people in these neighborhoods only use cash because they don't either trust banks or have access to banks. So now it's more so about you having the money or you don't. Like if you want to live a better life, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Armenian, Asian, Spanish. It's about the money now. You can move into a white neighborhood. I'm black. I moved into a white neighborhood, right? And over the years, my neighborhood has become mixed. So it's like Asian, Arab, white, black. It's like a little bit of everybody, right? Because you have people coming from other countries and taking advantage of the economic opportunities, and not the, and not so much as worrying about, racism. Now, individual people are racist. Yes. I've even experienced that, right? But the big thing right now is classism. You have the money or you don't. And you can even see that with the people. When you look at social media, everybody that has the money and it doesn't matter if they're black, white, like I said, Asian, Arab, or Spanish, they have large followings because people love money. People are so attracted and obsessed with the dollar that if you're a multimillionaire, you will have a large following on social media because people understand and know that. But if you don't have any money, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares about you, right? That's ingrained even in the people. We're not even talking about the system itself. We're talking about that being ingrained in the individuals in America. And these individuals are white, black, Asian, Arab, Spanish, like all nationalities. It's ingrained in them too. So I think classism, is a lot bigger than racism at this current point in time. Not to say that racism didn't exist and it doesn't exist on some levels. It does. But it's not as big as classism is right now. Classism is the biggest thing. And, if you don't have money or if you're not generating income, nobody cares about you. You drive. How many of you all drive past a homeless guy or woman with a sign on the side of the road every day and don't give them $1? Right? There's a very small percentage of people that do, but most people, they're driving right past them. They're like, hey, you made your own choices in life. It's not my fault. I'm gonna keep going. That's classism. That's a form of classism. That's not based on race. It's based on class. Where do you fall on the scale of money, right? We know that wealthy people, no matter if they're white or black, live very good lives, right? But then when you get to the lower economic status or the lower part of the economy, those people don't live as well. They don't have access to the best food. They don't get to take vacation all the time. They don't, they have to work longer hours for a little pay. That's not based on race. That's based on, classism, right? Their skill sets and things like that. And these people on this end, on the lower end, they're all types of nationalities. Some of them are, from South America. Some of them are black. Some of them are white. It's all based on class right now, right? If you go into, and I'll just use this as an example because, I'm in the real estate. If you go into a Toll Brothers, let's just say model home, right? And you say, hey, I want to buy one of these $1 million homes. I'm paying cash. They're going to accept you, welcome you, give you something to drink, sit you down, put your feet up, whatever they got to do to get this home sold. But if you go in there and say, I don't have any money, but I want to buy a house, or, I can't afford a home, but I'm just here, they're probably going to ask you to leave. And it doesn't matter your skin color, right? They don't care. That it's all about the economic status, and it's no longer about the skin color. You got the money or you don't. And that's just real.